Constitution of the World Health Organization came into force in 1948. It defined health comprehensively as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. When considering these goals in light of the pharmaceutical industry, it becomes clear that the market is failing. The pharmaceutical industry is driven by profits, and the current system of financing and research and development for new medicines is deeply flawed.
Warheads trained on every capital city around the globe.
First, high prices dramatically limit access to medicines. The situation is most dire in developing countries, where access to medicines is often appalling. In developed countries, the problems are less severe but very real. In the United States alone, nearly 90 million people were uninsured for all or part of 2006 to 2007. These people faced enormous challenges when diagnosed with severe illnesses.
Second, firms waste billions of dollars in marketing and research and development for medically unimportant products.
Night after night, strange sensations in my legs. I had to get up and move when all I wanted to do was rest. I had restless leg syndrome.
In terms of marketing, experts say that pharmaceutical companies spend almost twice as much as they do on promotion and marketing as they do on research and development. In terms of medically unimportant products, a simple but often overlooked question is, how much R&D do we get for the premium price? Consumers pay $8 or $9 on higher prices just to stimulate $1 in research and development funding.
Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
Consumers pay $8 or $9 on higher prices just to stimulate $1 in research and development funding.
Hey, I smell a rotten egg!
Third, firms do not invest in areas of greatest public need. There are three categories of diseases. Type 1 diseases are those for which the burden is roughly the same everywhere, and there's a significant market in high-income countries. They include diabetes and asthma. Type 2 diseases are those for which there is some disease burden in high-income countries, but most patients are low-income people in low-income countries. They include AIDS and tuberculosis. Type 3 diseases almost entirely afflict poor people in low-income countries. They are also called neglected diseases, and they include malaria and Chagas disease.
Neglected diseases are pretty much entirely ignored by the pharmaceutical industry because they do not attract profits.
This is an urgent problem.
These three flaws culminate in the 90-10 gap, where 90% of all the funds spent on research development benefit just 10% of the global population.
Cover up that bald spot. Instead of hiding it, solve it with Men's Rogaine Foam. In clinical testing,
This is what they spend their money on? What about the other 90% of the population? This is an incredible market failure that must be dealt with now.
The current system can and should be replaced with something better. The system for financing new drug development can be radically improved by spending less overall, aligning investment incentives more efficiently, and making drugs available to everyone at cheap generic prices.